Morning Dish.
He's the hardest working man in show business. His band's music takes you into the midnight hours. And when you wake up, his voice is back on your radio alarm clock. How on earth did this happen?
Well, Jeff saw me taking out the trash at the radio station.
And he won another award.
But this one is better.
I'm your boogeyman. That's what I am.
It's the Morning Dish with the 2019 Radio Personality of the Year winner, Stephen Phillips.
You paying attention to this, Packy?
And Murphy's own Sherry Raines.
Yeah, you must have given horseback passes to the right guy, Stephen.
Well, giddy up.
And Packy Smith's Shetland pony is right alongside.
You guys know these demo tapes don't just edit themselves together, right?
Well, all right.
3 cheers for Stephen Phillips.
Y'all need to help Stephen Phillips out over there. Out the door and off the radio.
Here's Stephen Phillips.
All righty, folks, we're back with you, man. I'm excited to have back on with us a great comedian drawing all of his experiences from the trailer park, being a former public school teacher. He's married, kids, and all that good stuff that goes along with it. Mr. Chad Thornsberry, how are you, bud?
I'm doing good. I really have to beef up that intro. Those are 4 of the most boring things that you could add in one intro.
Okay, let me try again. Ladies and gentlemen, cross between Robin Williams and Don Knotts. Chad Thornsberry. How about that?
Just outright lying. That's what I like. Absolutely. That's what I need.
Hey, today's Robin Williams and
Don Knott's birthday.
Don Knott's birthday.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
So, Chad, before he did the intro, he mentioned before we came on, he keeps bragging about you being raised in a trailer park.
Right.
I have a question. We have a theory that the aliens only ever come to the trailer parks,
Have you ever seen an alien?
No, I have not.
Are you serious?
Here's my question about that, though. Because I used to have a bit that I did on stage about this. And is it that the aliens are always smarter? I mean, you can't tell me that there's not some part of space that's like in southern Arkansas and they don't have any idea. Maybe we can't talk to them because we're smarter than they are.
That's what I'm thinking, because every one of them always shows up at a trailer park or someplace like that, like, man, I seen this alien spaceship come out of nowhere. I spent my whole bottle of Jack Daniels right there on the floor.
Well, if you want to go someplace where you wouldn't be found, it would be a trailer park, because nobody's trying to track anybody down there.
I guarantee it. Jeez, public school teacher, man. I mean, I think you get more experience from that than you do anything else. Do you not think?
Well, former school teacher, I do want to throw that out. Yeah, it's something happens all the time, and I actually have 2 shows coming up next month where I go back to schools where I taught, and they want me to talk to the faculty.
Oh, Lord.
And I was like, these people didn't like me when I worked for them. and now I'm going to be back there talking to them. But no, I remember specifically a kid one time, he got caught chewing tobacco, which but you can't do that. That's against the rules. And I said, man, you can't chew skull. And I had to write him up, come back the next day he's back in class and he's chewing again. And I said, what's going on? I told you couldn't chew. He said, no, told me I couldn't chew skull. This is Copenhagen.
I'm with you. That's redneck theology.
And I thought, you know what? He's absolutely right. I don't think that he was trying to be a smart aleck. I think that's honestly what he thought. I'm like, all right, you got me on that one, buddy. You win.
Knock yourself out.
What are we going to do?
It's funny, though. A lot of the comedians, like Reno Collier, he was a school teacher, too. And a lot of these comedians that were school teachers school teachers end up being comedians, man. What's the scoop with that?
I don't know. Reno and I have talked about that before. And we were talking so we went from an area where nobody listened to us to go to another job where nobody could listen to us and have alcohol.
That's good.
So we just made it a little more difficult. I don't know what that is. I've worked with a few, and there's more than you would think.
No, I'm
lot.
thinking you'd have a ton of material after teaching school for a few years for a routine.
Yeah, it runs. And all the teachers I know, they're always like, hey, man, you have to add this. You have to talk about this. So they just keep funneling stuff to me. So
that's always good.
Listen, can I say something about your show?
Yes, you
to your listeners?
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to get too inside, but I got a text the other night when you guys texted me and asked me if I wanted to be on the show.
Right.
I was like, absolutely. And I texted back, do you want to do any prep work? And I just get back, prep, ? LOL. And I'm like, see, that's why I like your show right there.
We're very structured here.
We get our structure and organization together about 2 minutes before we go on. So every day.
Oh, I like that. And my wife was even talking to me. She said, well, you don't like doing radio. I'm like, no, I like this kind of radio. This is what I like right here.
Man, you have been COVID quarantined, but now you're back out on the road. You got a lot of shows coming up, man.
Yeah, a lot of shows that canceled a couple of years ago. They're all rescheduling and things are opening back up, so it's good. I was telling somebody that my wife and I booked tickets for that Motley Crue Def Leppard Stadium tour.
Right.
We booked them back in 2019, but or 2020, and it got canceled again back to 2022. And so I've had shows that I was booked in 2020, and they've been postponed to 2022. And the only thing I remember about high school math is, like, that should be equal. So by mathematical definition, I'm just as popular as Motley Crue and Def Leppard. That's the way I look at that.
You have the same kind of reasoning as Stephen Phillips. That's amazing. I think y'all might be related somehow.
Well, you know, I kind of keep up with you, man. You got your YouTube channel. I kind of watch all that stuff. And you actually was booked across the street from Val Kilmer. Am I getting that right?
Oh, God, that was awful. Yeah.
Yeah.
I show up that night, and I generally show up to places really early. I'm nuts about that. And no one is there. And it's like a Wednesday night.
Right.
And so, but then we get to showtime, and it's me and like 3 waitresses just sitting down talking. and the manager called and said, well, I guess I'm going to have to cancel the show. I said, we got nobody? He goes, no, it might be the other show across the street. I'm like, well, who's over there? And he said, Val Kilmer. I'm like, Batman, Doc Holliday? Street?
So what was Val Kilmer doing? I mean, he's not a comedian. What was he doing?
He was doing and actually I think it got a lot of awards, like a one-man show about Mark Twain.
Oh.
Really? I'd rather be at your show,
yeah.
man.
Well, you would have been the only one, and I mean that literally, the one. But he looked at me, and he was upset with me. I'm like, dude, I would have rather been over there. Are you kidding me?
I feel your pain, man. I feel your pain. We play music, and I've done a lot of shows like that. Actually, when we start playing, it's usually full, but by the end of the first song, it's generally
thinned out.
empty.
It's thinned out quite a bit.
I've done the shows before. We start off with whatever it is, 16 people on a Tuesday night, and by the time I'm about 20 minutes left, the bartender's just looking at me. He's like, hey, man, you want to keep going? I'm like, no, I just want to start. What do you mean, do I want to keep going?
My question is, am I getting paid at this point? If I'm not, I'm going to keep going.
Yeah. Yes, is the check? Well, how much is the check? Well, no, you're not getting paid unless the show's finished. Well, you're going to hear 20 minutes of jokes just to you then.
There you go, man. Sit back and relax.
Hey, well, the good thing about it, I see you do, some of the private shows, the corporate gigs, they're kind of a captive audience, aren't they?
Yeah, that's what I said about working on ships. Those were some of the best crowds I've ever had, trapped in the middle of the ocean with nowhere else to go.
See, there's the answer, Stephen. We're going to try to get you booked on a cruise ship as the entertainment.
I'm going to tell y'all need to check Chad out, no doubt. He just got some cool stuff, man.
And you can actually go to chadthornsberry.com. You can see all of his tour dates. As he said, he's back out there working. He can pay the rent again, so...
I always think about...
Well, I didn't say that. I nowhere in shape or form I ever said that. I said I'm out working. Don't make this better than it is.
I'm being optimistic.
I always think about String Bean. You remember String Bean back on the Hee Haw?
Yeah.
Anyway, he went out and told a bunch of jokes, and they just fell right off into the floor. Nobody laughed at all. And String Bean come back, and he said, man, they just didn't get them jokes tonight. Do you ever have that problem?
What I get is because, like, a lot of the places I work, I try to work pretty clean, and it's like all this stuff of my family and all this, and every once in a while you get in a spot where they don't want to hear that. They want to hear all this other stuff that I pretty much don't do. And what upsets me is the guy who's like, hey, man, some of your jokes are just too smart for this crowd. I'm like, my opening joke is about having a flat tire. I don't know where you think I'm losing them. I have never been accused of speaking over anyone's head.
Yeah.
That's not my thing.
I guess that's one of the reasons I like your stuff so much is because it is clean. I don't like the dirty stuff. I mean, or the vulgar. I guess it is the vulgar stuff. But I do like the clean comedy. I just think it's so much more fun.
It's just always the way. I'm not saying I've never said anything on stage that I would want my grandma to hear, because I've certainly said that. But no, this is the way I prefer to work now, and it's going pretty well for me, and crowds like it, and it's more fun and acted. I think it's tougher. Yeah. That's just me. I think it's more difficult to work that way. But, guys that work the other way, if that's the way they want to work, hey, that's the way they want to work. I don't care. But they might have a different opinion. But that's just the way I do it. So.
Well, now, do you try your new jokes out on your wife, and she's like, oh,
absolutely not. Absolutely not. That is she gets to hear this all the time. You think she's going to be sitting around like, hey, Chad, what new material do you have? No, what a horrible suggestion. No.
Oh, Lord.
No, she'll go to, every once in a while she'll go to a show with me. We'll travel a little bit together. But I was in a place doing 2 shows one night, and we were with a couple of friends, and she goes, I'm probably not going to go watch your second show. And they were both just, it was like, you're not going to go watch him work the second show? She's like, no, sometimes I don't go watch the first one. Like, no, she's heard some of this stuff before, and especially the stuff's about her. She probably didn't want to hear then.
Yeah.
That's a question I always wonder when you hear a comedian get up there and like rag on their wife or girlfriend. How does that go over at home?
She's usually really, really good about it. Every once in a while I'll say something and she'll just go, no.
Outside. You're outside tonight.
That one goes in the back of the notebook. That's the one on the ship where she's 1,000 miles away. That one might get told that night.
Yeah, that's the first thing you say is, well, is my wife present tonight? And if you don't hear anything, then you can go with it. So tell me something else now. Okay, I've been scooping up on you. You had a video the other day. You're driving a tractor. Are you a farmer too now, or what?
No. See, I made that one the other day. No, my dad's a farmer. I had to take it and help a guy tear down a building, and so I grabbed a real farm. But no, I mean, I've done the whole thing and moved hay with it and had to drive it down the highway. And the whole video was under the thing where you, like, everybody is so mad at you that they're caught behind you.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, hey, I don't want to be driving 8 miles an hour either. I don't know why you think that I'm doing this on purpose. It's not my fault. And so I was just responding to all those people that have been mad at me over the years for driving that.
I don't mind driving the tractors down the road. Because I usually get around them pretty quick. But these people that drive these dang Priuses and they run in like 45 and a 65 in the left-hand lane, I get furious, man.
It amazes me the people that will go 7 miles an hour, like on curves or hills where you can't pass, and then when they get to the straight stretch, they go 85. Like, there has to be a mile an hour in between there where I can pass you.
Right.
Now, granted, if you're going 80 miles an hour, I've never owned a vehicle that could pass anybody that fast, but it was like, there has to be something in between.
I just bump them like I do in NASCAR. I just bump them a little bit.
I have a question. I'm looking at your online store, and what is this about the 8-pack crayon club? What is this?
That's a joke I have about growing up. Let me see. Now let me get into what it. Oh, I'm trying to help my wife plan for our wedding.
Oh,
and
that
she's
sounds
giving me all these colors that I don't know. The colors I give example are periwinkle. I don't know what that is.
Only primary colors, honey. Only primary.
Yeah, right. And the whole is like, well, that's the color we had in our crayon box. Well, it wasn't in mine. They don't have those in the 8-pack crayon thing. And that's the thing that people really like that joke. So I thought, well, I'll put it on a shirt, and the people liked it and bought it. And
that's pretty cute.
That was the way it was in school, though. You go to school, had an 8-pack crayon, and you had the little rich kids. They always had like that 24-pack crayons.
64, yeah.
I'm like,
I was substitute teaching one time for an art class, which is a memory that I really didn't want to relive. But she said the crayons are in the closet, and like for schools, they make an 800-pack crayon set.
Oh, my Lord.
And I thought, I was so jealous of every kid in there. I just wanted to throw it in the trash. And, everybody gets a yellow marker on white paper. And that's what I felt like doing. It was like, it's ridiculous. But yeah, I had the 8, man.
I'm with you on that. We have got to get to a break, Chad. Tell everybody how they can get up with you and follow you and all the stuff that's going on, and where they can laugh a little bit.
Website Chad Thornsberry, THORNSBERRY. It would stun you how many times that name gets misspelled. At least that's what I tell myself. ChadThornsberry.com. It's got a link to my Facebook and YouTube. I'm really trying to get my YouTube going, so follow me on Chad Thornsberry Comedy on there and watch my simple videos, some of which will be on the tractor. So
there you go, man. We appreciate you. Yep, appreciate you. We'll keep up with you. We'll get you back on here in a day or two.
All right, sounds good, man. I appreciate it.
All right, take care. Thank you for spending a little time with us. And remember, you can tune in every morning at WJULradio.com at 8 a.m. Eastern. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel and like us on Facebook, The Morning Dish.